Hi everybody, welcome back to Halibut Season 2025, Episode 2. Hope you enjoyed the first one. We're catching some halibut on this video. I decided to combine our first 2 days of fishing together just to make one video. Because our first day we only set 7 tubs and we had a little bit of trouble on the go there, and then we went out the next day. It was beautiful, so I got some great footage. I just want to give a big thank you to everybody who's liking and subscribing, and tell your friends and share. See if I can get up to that 1,000 mark. I got a shout out to my brother's company today out west. Brother Anthony lives in BC, Taylor, BC. His company's 2B6 Contracting. A little bit of merch on the go. Thanks a lot, Anthony and Dana. I'm looking forward to the next shipment. Here I am now getting ready to bait some gear. I got a fish 8 I'm chopping up here now to hook on. We like to call this baiting up on shack. So shack would be any type of bait besides herring and mackerel, I guess you would call it. At least by using this, we don't get many cod if there's any bait sounds too big for the cod. Cod usually like the mackerel, the herring. So the more shack you hook on, the less cod you'll get. They say halibut will eat anything anyway if it's by its mouth. You hear the old fisherman talk. One story, they said one guy hooked a cotton glove on after using it for days, cleaning fish and stuff, old fishy glove, and he hooked it on and caught a halibut on it. So here I am now getting ready to turn one out, they say. This is our tub of halibut gear with 100 hooks on it. I can remember the first time I turned out a tub of gear. Well, I don't say I turned it out, I would say Dad turned it out for me. But I baited it. I'd say it was over 3 hours. That was codfish gear. After I learned how to do it, I soon come to realize that I wish I didn't know how to do it. Oh, there was many days down the stage. Boys were up on the road playing ball hockey, and I was down the stage baiting gear for Dad. I can see now why he was glad I learned how to do it. Cut down on his work a bit. He spent hours and hours on stage by himself. But when we started to learn how to do it, me and my brothers, it was a big help for him, for sure. Now that I don't depend on the fishery, I'm so grateful that I was taught this trade by my father, the traditional fisherman. But according to the government, I'm not a fisherman. Now you got to go to school and get all kinds of credits. But I'll let the government know if anybody's watching. I don't know who gives them the right to tell us that who's a fisherman and who's not. It's in my blood. It was bred into me by my father and his father and father before him. Most of the people my age that were fishing back then had to give it up and go elsewhere, look for work, because there just wasn't enough into the fishery. But they still got the skills of the trade. If you didn't have 80% of your earnings from the fishery, you were not considered a fisherman anymore. When it comes to baiting gear, there's always that fellow that's supposed to be the best. And there he is right there, passing down the shovel. That's our master baiter. Yep, he's the master baiter of the crew. buoy line. We're approximately 10 miles from Port of Bass, I guess. About 175 to 180 fathoms of water. Guys, it's free to subscribe. Just enter your email, then sign in, hit the subscribe button. Here's me cleaning a few halibut. These fish are a little bit tricky, clumsy I should say, for cleaning. Not quite prepared yet, since it's only early in the season, but we usually got a mat on their box that helps from keeping them slogging around. This fish here is probably about 40 pounds, I'm guessing. We get some bigger ones, that makes it even harder to clean. When they're 200 pounds, it's a little bit tricky, especially if there's either roll on it. But it was a nice morning, so that helped a lot as well. Not much movement there. But in upcoming videos, I'll have some closer look of how to clean halibut. There's certain ways of doing it. Some people like to take the gills out when they take out the insides, but I prefer leaving the gills in. That's all what you're comfortable doing, I guess. Well, that includes episode 2 of Halibut 2025. Hope you guys enjoyed this content. If so, please like and subscribe. Guys, it's free to subscribe. Just enter your email and then sign in. Hit the subscribe button.